session. What stood out for you? What did you learn? Yesterday was Mr. Ogochukwu's session on critical thinking and problem solving, and I remember the games. The games we the game pictures. Okay. So I've started live streaming in case those want to watch it on Zoom. So what stood out for you? Can anyone share with us? Just raise your hand and I'll allow you to unmute so you can speak. Okay. Ask to unmute. Ask to unmute. Miss T Onobanjo, you can unmute and speak.
Okay, good evening, Ma.
Good evening.
Yeah. So yesterday for me, what stood out for me was learning about how that what makes a good problem solver is not just one that identifies problems, right, but also one that prefers solution to those problems that has been identified.
Thank you so much, Miss T Onobanjo. Nana Afsat, I think you can speak. Joshua Emmanuel, you can also unmute. And
All
Emmanuel.
right, good evening, everyone. So what actually stood out for me was the fact that he taught us how to use tools to engage in problem solving and also critical thinking. So we talk about self-reflection, having to clear your mind, your thoughts for you to be able to think properly and clearly. You also talk about engaging in productive arguments, like with your colleagues, for you to be able to know how your performance is, like getting feedback, So all of that actually is really helpful for me. And I hope to work towards all these tools you mentioned.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you
evening,
so
ma.
much. Yes, good evening.
Yeah, this is Emmanuel Namoko. Thank you for the privilege to speak to the members of the platform. I learned, particularly the critical thinking. I learned that problems are abound every time and everywhere. But the issue is that being able to spot the problem and then provide solutions to the problems makes you an entrepreneur or makes you a solution provider wherever you find yourself. From the games we played yesterday night, we discovered that the office was in a rowdy situation, unorganized. So I learned to be organized in wherever settings I find myself. When you're organized, you'll be able to think better and being productive. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Joshua Emmanuel, you were part of those who raised your hand. Do you want to say something? Joshua Emmanuel. Okay. Joshua Emmanuel, can you hear me? Are you speaking? Because we can't hear you. Okay. I guess we'd have to move on because we can't hear you, Joshua Emmanuel. So we'd have to move on. Today's speaker is already on the call. Today's trainer, perhaps yes, because they are all trainers for the purpose of this boot camp. She's already on the call, and her name is Faith Ilori. I'll be reading her profile now, and right after that, I'm going to hand over to her. So she'll take over, and then we can get right into this session. No Nigerian, no African time today, like we did yesterday, because of time, and we understand that everyone also has important things to do. And we really consider it an honor for you to be on this call. Faith Ilori is a dynamic and results-oriented professional with a proven track record of delivering strategic business solutions, driving transformational change, and optimizing operational efficiency. Passionate about empowering organizations and individuals to overcome barriers and achieve sustainable growth. She specializes in developing scalable solutions that enhance performance and foster innovation. Faith is deeply committed to advancing the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, particularly Goal 4, quality education, Goal 5, gender equality, and Goal 8, decent work and economic growth. Through her work, she champions equitable access to education and opportunities for young people with a focus on empowering women and girls to achieve their full potential. A passionate advocate for continuous learning and professional growth, Faith is committed to inspiring the next generation of leaders. Our mission is to harness the power of collaboration, adaptability, and resilience to shape a brighter future for organizations, communities, and individuals. At Skilled for Now 2.0, Faith Ilori will be training participants in project management and workplace soft skills. So please let's welcome Faith, not in her profile also, but she's a programs officer at JAN, Junior Achievement Nigeria. So let's welcome Faith. Please, Faith, can you hear me? I've made you a call. So share in the comments, say welcome, how excited you are that she's here. And I have no doubt that you enjoy our session. Let me stop sharing so that Faith can take over.
Thank you so much, Damola, and thank you everybody for the welcome. So good evening, everyone. Okay, I just want to confirm if Rio can hear me. Damola, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, because Rachel mentioned that she can't hear me. So I want to be sure if I'm well audible. All right. Okay, so good evening once again, everybody, and I hope we all had a wonderful day so far. I hope our day has not been so stressful. My own has just been a lot actually. But despite that, I'm glad to be here to just share with everybody my knowledge and a whole lot of things like that. So without further ado, I will just go right into the discussion for the brevity of time. So I believe we all can see my screen. I want to be sure we can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so yes, today I'll be facilitating the session on project management and workplace soft skills. And to me, these two topics are what I, from my own little experience and relating with mentors, a couple of things like that. Those are project management, although yes, there's project management as a profession, but even as it is a profession, it is something everyone really need to have basic knowledge of, because much more than it's been a profession. For instance, now I work as a project manager, but aside me working as a project manager, project management is something that you can as well know the basics and apply it to your life and to whatsoever you are doing and to any career you are working on. Whilst the aspect that deals with workplace soft skills, like what soft skills are things that help you thrive. If the hard skill gets you the job, soft skills can make you thrive, and also your soft skill can make you promoted or just even get something you do not deserve if you have soft skills. So I won't be talking much on both topic now. We'll just go right into the discussion. We'll go right into the session. All right, so get to know me. Get to know me outside my citation that has been shared. I want to start with that because I know some people that we have some similarities as you want to get to know me now. And yes, this is just me trying to lighten up the mood. There might be tension since morning, a lot of things that you've done. It's evening, you may want to relax. So just get to know me in a chilled manner So I said, hello everyone, my name is Faith Lori and I'm your tour guide today. I'm taking you through the tour of project management and workplace soft skill. And fun fact about me, I hate stress and it's not like I love a soft life. So if you're on this call this evening and you always seem like I want to live the baby girl life, don't worry. I'm also with you. And if you don't like stress, I do not like stress, although we can't all afford stress. But yes, I hate it with passion. And a favorite quote that I love so much is that a goal without a plan is just a wish. Like if you want to achieve a goal, but you do not plan for it, you are just daydreaming. Jesse will say you are deluluing. Actually, you are deluluing. So those are just the fun fact about me, knowing me outside my citation. So now going to the objective of this session. The objective of this session is that by the end of this session, we all know what project management is and why it matters at work. And also we understand the basic concepts of project management and its life cycle, and also we understand workplace soft skills, and then we understand emotional intelligence, what emotional intelligence is all about, and how you can be the best at it. So now with that being said, I want us to have a very quick icebreaker, and the icebreaker is just me trying to know you. Probably we are on this call, we have people that they have the tendency of probably being a project manager, or you have at one point or the other do something relating to project management. So icebreaker is that imagine you have to describe one event you've organized, or maybe a group work that you've done at school, or maybe at your place of work, using three emojis. Like if you have just three emojis to describe the one event you've organized, or maybe a project you led, or maybe a group work you led, or you are even a member in that group work that you did. What are those three emojis that you are going to use to describe your experience? So I want to see a reaction in the chat box. I want to see the three emojis you use to describe your experience. Okay, Busayo Bello, she used this screaming, then mark, then celebration. Definitely there was war between that whatever group or project that you did, but it ended in praise. That's nice. Blessing Clement, you just cried. Oh my God, you cried. Interesting. Omo Uchenna, she was happy then. She was sober at some point, then she was happy again. Iswa Atishola was like, she's perfect. And then she used this lead that it went well. Then Uga, love, cry, clap. Ade, oh my God, interesting. Fatima, heartbroken. Oh my, this is interesting. Joshua Emmanuel, you were sleeping. Does that mean that you slept during the project or the event? Angel, I love your emoji. I can see the cookies here. Oh, interesting. All right. So the reason why I asked us to just after icebreaker is that I want to like just hear our experience about project management, what it has been leading project, and how it was when you led projects, because I can categorically tell you that at a point in your life you've had a simulation. If maybe you do not know that it's project management, then that's why I use the word simulation. You already had an idea of what project management is all about. And if you are part of those that dropped emoji, that means you are involved in something similar to project management already. Because project management, in fact, the person that used that cry emoji, heartbroken, I can relate with you. In fact, I'm in your shoes. I was in your shoe and I'm still in your shoes. So I can feel you. Now, going to what project management is all about. Project management, like I said, you might have encountered it in what you are doing, but you do not know that this is what project management is all about. But now, going by the professional definition, I want to read the definition by PMI that project management is the application of the knowledge, the skill, tools, and techniques you have to project activity to meet your project requirements. Now, with the one I wrote in the first paragraph, I'll be taking it now, then I'll explain both together. I said project management is the structured process of planning, organizing, and overseeing a project to achieve specific goals. If you are with your pen or your notepad, you can write down specific goals. And also the definition goes on that within defined constraints like time, budget, and resources. If you are with your pen and journal, or if you have your notepad, you can also write down time, budget, and resources. And then the definition continued that it involves managing tasks majorly, managing resources, managing stakeholders to ensure that you have a successful completion of your project. Now, from all this definition that I shared with you, and I told you to just write down some key things, it just pinpoint our attention to the fact that project management is a structured process. And when we talk about something being structured process, it's something like you sit down, you think about, sit down, you brainstorm about. You just don't go into it that, oh, this is a task I have at hand. How am I going to do it? Like you just going to it. You have this time when they call brainstorming session. Let me use that word to think about it, to structure the process. And yeah, project management, like I said, is a structured process. And from all the definition, you can see project tax, managing projects, managing this and all. For project management to occur, there must be some certain tasks you have to work on. For instance, now, not bringing it deep, I want to bring it to something relatable. For instance, now, when the founder of the convener of this program we are doing now reached out to me, she has a project at hand. And when she reached out to me, my own project that I'm to manage is okay. Now I've been invited to talk about this project management and workplace soft skill. How am I going to ensure that I deliver it so well? Then that will involve me going to plan it, research about what I want to talk about, highlight my points, design my slides, think about it like have my demo presentation. Yes, that is my own part of the project. And from all I listed, it is obvious that what I did is a structured process. Same thing for project management. It must be a structured process that involves you planning, you organizing. And as I am here now, I've already planned it, nobody's there, organize it. Like, okay, this is how this should flow, the flow and all of those things. Now I'm overseeing it, I'm delivering it. And that means as I'm delivering it, I'm overseeing it. That's why we have the icebreaker. That's why I'm using examples that we all can relate to. But what I'm doing here, or when Oyedamola reached out to me, that is a project she hands over to me to properly manage. Now, I said that a project must achieve a specific goal. Like I said, when I gave us the objective of this session, that at the end of this thing, you must understand project management, all of those things. Whatever task you are working on, whatever project you are managing, it must have a specific goal at the end that when you are done, so that you'll be able to use that to measure the success of the project that you have worked on or the tasks that you have worked on. And also, it must be within defined constraints like your time, your budget, and your resources. And that pinpoints to all that whatever things you are working on, whatever task or activity or project you are working on, three things actually matter so much in project management. Like those things are like constraints, and that is time. That's when you see that they tell that, okay, Faith, you have to work on this thing and you have to 5 days before close of business. That is the time that comes with the task I'm working on. The budget, like, okay, the budget for this is so million, so thousand, so dollars. Yes, ensure you deliver this project within this time by Friday with this budget. And then the resources. Now, the resources can be both human and non-human resources. The non-human resources can be like, okay, you need a laptop, this is a laptop. You need you probably have a letter drafted, a proposal, all of those things, a charter, all of those things are not human resources. The human resources is yes, you'll be working with a team of people. For instance, now everybody that are my resources here, my human resources here include myself, everybody listening to me, the convener, and all of those things. So that is to tell you that once you have your specific goals, you have to ensure you meet up with your goal in line with the time that is being given, the budget, if there's any budget, and also the resources that is available for you to ensure that the project or the task is well executed. And at the end of definition in the first paragraph, it said that it involves managing time, tax, resources, and stakeholder. Majorly, if you are doing anything that relates to storage management, yes, tax will be there, resources will be there, stakeholders will be there, and you have to manage all of them so well because you've been able to effectively manage them is where the success of the completion of your project is all about. And that is to tell you in simple terms that project management is you ensuring that you get your task done. Actually, it's tasks that in any project you have, it's tasks that make it to be a project, activities that make you a project. Oh, this is what you have to do for this thing that I gave you, this project you want to work on, this task, that task, everything joined together is what is project. managing it, like the management now coming when that, oh, I've stepped into the shoe of this project now. How am I going to ensure that it is well done, it is well delivered? Yes, that is where the project management, in essence, project management is just you managing all those tasks so well to ensure that it is completed successfully, such that by the time you are done, you can easily mark it that tick done successful. They check out the, for instance, different organization or have things where they used to measure the success of their project. And it can even be maybe your personal projects, like maybe you want to relocate. Yes, that is a project. You have to have a timeline, save up the project you are looking to save towards, and the resources you might probably need if you are relocating. Maybe you need your international passport, you need this and that, all of those things. That can be your own project. And by the end, you know that for you to define your success, that means you have to save by the time, your budget and everything. That is just it for project management. And also it just also involves you applying the knowledge you have, the skill you have, the tools, everything you have to ensure that you meet up with whatever project requirement or the project goal that you have. With that being said, we're going to the next slide, which is key concepts in project management. Key concepts you have in project management are a whole lot, but the ones that are relatable, yes, which if you understand them rather, you'll be able to apply them to not only to professional project manager, for anybody that wants to go into project management, but also for your personal life. Because believe me, like I tell you when I was introducing this, project management is also effective in your personal life. Yes, if you're on this call, don't say, hey, I don't need it, I don't want to go into project management. My dear brethren, you actually need it, whether or not you are going to project management, because you just need it for you to be able to organize your life and also organize your career. So the first concept I'll be speaking on is scope. Yes, when we talk about project scope, or yes, when we talk about project scope, it just outline what the project will be and what the project will not. And this scope actually helps you to like have a clear understanding of what your project is all about, such that if something that is not meant to be in your project is coming up, you easily identify the boundaries for yourself and also for your project team and also for your stakeholder. For instance, now, let's say that, let me tell you the example of you relocating. If you are relocating, you know that one thing that you will need is you need your international passport. If it is for academic reasons, you will need maybe your certificate of what's it called, admission, your transcript, your every other thing that you are going to need. And you know that one thing they may not ask you is the receipt of payments you made when you are in 100 level at school. Yeah, but at that, now let's bring this down to project management. It means that if you know what your outcome will be, what your project is all about, a project scope will just have you that if I'm doing this thing in this project, in this thing that I want to do, it is in line with this project I'm working on. But if I'm doing this, if by at any point I'm doing this, that means it is not part of the project. And project could actually just help you to have a clear boundaries for yourself, for the project team, for the stakeholders. For instance, now let's bring it home. Let's say I'm working on a project on SDG 4, quality education, and somebody just come in with something that is on good health and well-being. I've forgotten the SD that is all about now. And then you'll be able to say that, oh no, I'm sorry, yes, this project is about SDG 4, quality education. If you are bringing this good health and well-being, it do not go in line with our project scope for now. For come next year or come 2 months after, it may be something you want to consider. That's what the project scope will just help you to do, to just outline the boundary for your project. And another key concept we'll be talking about is the objective. Yes, this objective is simple. I'm not going to tarry long in it. Bring it down to the objective I mentioned at the end, at the beginning of this our lesson. Project objectives are just those tangible things that if we are done by this project, with this project, we have to see these results. The objectives are majorly the outcome of what is expected on any project that you are working on. It can be your personal life project, personal career project, anything that you are working on. Those are what you expect to see at the outcome of any project you are working on. And mind you, objectives are always specific and they are tangible. Like it's something that if by the end of this session now, people still have that don't understand what project management is all about, workplace soft skill. I will have to go and say, hey, maybe we'll have the session again. I need to explain this and that. Project objectives are just those things that by the end of that task you're working on, everything, this must be the outcome. That is what objectives are about. Now, milestone, talking about milestone, project milestone are also specific because they show significant turning points, or they show significant growth in your project life cycle. And if you see that thing now, you can see that this is a progress. Now, for instance, let me explain this milestone so well, because sometimes people miss milestone. I don't want to be using terms so I'm not confusing everybody. People use milestone. I don't want to use the technical word. People mix milestone and, don't let me say it, and let me use the word goals. Yes, as yes, significant. People used to use them interchangeably. In project management, yeah, in project management, if you talk about yes, milestone, I've already seen what I was talking about, deliverables. Now, let me use it. Milestone is a combination of deliverables that, let me break it like this. We have alphabet A, B, C, D. In project management, A, which is alphabet A, is a milestone. Under alphabet A, it can have task or deliverable that is A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6. You now completing the deliverable A1 to A6 under alphabet A means that the milestone, you remember that A is a milestone. That means that if you can complete all the tasks under that milestone, right, you have made progress with that milestone and you can take it as done. Then you go to the next milestone that you have to work on. But sometimes milestone are something that you work on together simultaneously. Alphabet B is a milestone, it can have 5 deliverables. C is a milestone, it can have 5 deliverables. D is a milestone, it can have 5 deliverables. And like I said, milestone is just those things that it's a completion of couple of tasks and it is always specific. For instance, now still using the SDG for that I'm working on. If one of the milestone is to have an educational session at two secondary schools, that's a milestone. Under the milestone, they are deliverable. One of the deliverable is probably get approval from government, submit letter of approval to school, meet with school to decide on date for implementation, get public address system, get that. If you're able to complete all the deliverables under that milestone, that indicate that that is done. Like the progress for that is done. Yes, that is always what milestone is all about. That is why the definition of that, it is always specific and it is a significant event. It's always significant that, oh, if we could have this event, that means we are done. All the deliverable that it has been fixed. Now, that means this particular milestone is done. Now, let's go to deliverables. Deliverables are specific output or product or result that a project intends to produce or deliver. I think I've even explained this milestone and deliverable concurrently. Like I said, milestones are like deliverables, significant events that show that we have done this, we have done that. Now, deliverables are those significant outputs, all those processes that if you do them on a project, they will produce and deliver, and they will help our milestone. They will help us to ensure that this project, though, if we do all of this output, though, we are going to make um significant like improvement. Is going to deliver. Mind you, this deliverable will affect our milestone because under each milestone there are various deliverables. Please, if you get what I explained with milestone and deliverable, let me just see it in the chat that you are getting it and it's not mixing up, because sometimes milestone and deliverable is always confusing. For me, you said no, that means you didn't get it, right? I just want to be sure. If you didn't get it, let me know. Not too clear. All right. You didn't get it. Okay, Marianne. Now I will need only Damola, just confirm if people can like unmute. I need someone to flow with me so that we can get exactly. Busaya said milestone is the parent, deliverable are the children.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay. So whoever wants to speak should just indicate, and I
Yes.
will allow them
I
to
want to be
unmute
sure if
themselves.
Feyifumi can speak.
Faith, for me, can you raise your hand? Or Ozioma, you said it's not too clear. Can you? Okay, Faith, for me. Let
Yeah, she
me.
has raised her hand. All right. While we're waiting for Feyifumi
So,
to,
Faith, for me, you can unmute, and then
Okay. All
all
right.
right.
Good evening. Good
Good
evening, ma.
evening, Feyifumi.
Thank you for the session so far. I think yes,
Actually,
I was flowing.
yeah.
I was flowing, and I think until we got to deliverables and milestones,
All right.
I think they're looking
I
like the
actually
same
just
thing.
want you to, I want you to be my responder. I feel like I don't want to use my own examples. Just omit as you are. So as I said, someone drop it. I think I will also said milestone is the parents, deliverable are the children. Right. I don't know what is the process like for you to join this program. Do you fill an application? Do you do something?
Yes, we fill an application form, then
Awesome.
we join a WhatsApp group.
Awesome. All right. So let's use it like this. You fill an application. When you fill the application, what are those things you did before you fill the application? Do you research about what it is about, what the organization is about, or is it that your friend told you all of those things? Hi, Feyifumi.
Yes, I'm with you. Sorry, I think I missed 1 minute. Network was, but
All right. So I was asking that when you fill your application, before you submitted your application, do you research about what the organization is about? Is it that you went to your friends to ask questions? Do you draft out your essays that you submitted in the application, or how do you go about it?
she just sent that was yes, only Damola just sent the application to the group that, oh, there's going to be a boot camp, and if you're interested, they'll fill the form. So because I was already a member of Shapers Network, I did not need to make like so much inquiries. I just filled the form, and in the form there are like questions. Oh, are you a student? Are you not a student? Then attach your CV and the likes.
Okay. All right. So I was thinking that yes, if it was like application that you have to fill, you submit essays, you do all of those things. I want to use that to really. So here is the thing. Explaining milestones are deliverable, and I want you to get it. Milestone, like I said, is the parents, deliverables are the children. The milestone is that you fill an application. That's if you are fresh, you don't know anything about Shapers Network. You saw an application about the program, the boot camp. And for instance, you see someone like me that do not know what Shapers Network is all about. I want to assume I do not know. I know, but let's assume that I do not know. I've never come across it. Maybe I just saw it on Instagram, I saw it on X. And my milestone is that submit application for the skilled now boot camp. Now my deliverables to ensure that I meet up with the milestone will be research about the organization. What do they do? Are they into youth empowerment? If I'm part of this boot camp, is there going to be internship for me? Have I, like, aside these things, what exactly do they really represent? Those are my deliverables to ensure that the milestone, which is submit my application, is well done. Also under my deliverables, if maybe peradventure the essays ask me that if have you ever been part of a boot camp? Share with us your experience about the boot camp using 250 words. Me researching about one of my deliverables will also be attempting or drafting the essays answers, like or answer to the essay question. Yeah, that will be deliverable. Now, the milestone we have is submit application to Shapers Network Africa to join their boot camp.
Okay.
Why my deliverable under is to now be for me to achieve this milestone, I have to have this, I have to have that, I have to research about them, know what they represent, what has there been people that participated in this before, what was they like, and a whole couple of things like that. So that's the idea about milestone and deliverable.
Yes, I think it actually makes sense now.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. I can see a couple of people also said that they get it now. Thank you. And thank you, Sabrina. Sabrina has analyzed it for us in the chat so much. All right. So now that we are done with milestone and deliverable, let's go to deadline. We all know what deadline is about. In fact, we used to say deadline is chasing us. So deadline is just specific date and time a project must be completed. That by this date, 5 p.m. tomorrow, this project must be completed. Talking about the stakeholders. Stakeholders are anybody, individual, group of people, organizations who may be affected by or perceive itself to be affected by any decision that you are making on your project or the outcome of your project. For instance, now, still using the SDG4 program or event that we are working on, one of our stakeholders that will be affected by the outcome of the project is definitely the students. So they are one of our stakeholders. Also, the government too can be one of our stakeholders because definitely we need them to give us approval to do this for us, to do that for us. So those are the concepts that I'll be discussing under project management. Now I've got to run because of time. Now, project management has stages or life cycles or process. Some people call it stages, some people call it life cycles, some people call it process. So project management has just five stages. Then the first stage is project initiation, followed by project planning, followed by project execution, followed by project monitoring, followed by project closure. Now, talking about project initiation is where you just define the purpose of your project or whatever task you want to work on, the scope, like I've mentioned, I said scope just align what is and what is not on your project, and then the objective that at the end of my project. This is what I want to see. And also in your initiation phase, you also have to identify your key stakeholders. Who are they? Who are those people that we directly or indirectly be affected by the outcome of this thing that you are working on? And also at this project initiation, you also create a project charter, which is more like a document that outline what the project is all about, everything about the project, resources you put in there, the timeline, the budget, and then the scope and a whole lot of things like that. Why the planning? After doing all of these things, all that stage one, you go to the stage two, which is the project planning. The project planning is when you create a project plan. The project plan will have an outline of your team members, the time frame, the detailed time frame, like in week one of your project, this is what is to be done, who is delivering it, and a measure to confirm that it is well delivered. And also, you create a work breakdown structure. Yes. Also, project planning, you create a work breakdown structure. After creating the tasks per week, per everything, you just create it that, okay, this is what I'll be doing by this time, by this time. This is the work breakdown for each all of those things. And also, you create your risk management strategy in stage two. When you are planning your project, you ensure that you create your risk management strategy. For instance, now you may want to put measure in place to ensure that if this thing do not go well in week one, if let's say still on the SDG4 project you are working on, you're unable to get approval from government, what else can we do to ensure that we still get across to the school? One thing you can do to ensure that you still get across to the school, the risk plan may be that visit the principal of the school by yourself and see if it is something they want to do, whether or not you have the project being approved by the government. Then after that have all been done in your stage two, you go to the next one, which is your project execution. Project execution is actually the real deal of the project. All the things you've done in your initiation phase, you've done in your planning. The execution is you now putting them into place, you working on those things, you working on those on the project you have at hand with the document you've created, your work plan, your charter, your risk management plan, your breakdown structure. You just working on them to ensure that you implement the project within time, within budget, and also within the scope and available resources that you have. And also under project execution, you build your workflow, then you assign tasks to people that, okay, yes, Oyindamola will be doing this for us, Fatima will be doing this for us, Adesonya Folashade, this is what she'll be doing for us, Olushola, this is what she'll be doing, Osioma, Bello, this is all that she will be doing for us. So that all of those things are being identified under your project execution. And also in project execution, you ensure that everyone is being kept in loop. Like There's free flow of communication. Nobody is saying if the project lead is not around, they don't know what's going on. Now, relating this to your personal life, if there are people that, if you are doing any personal project, not a work-related project now, if you are doing any personal project now, there are people that you should be accountable to. When you are implementing your project, when you are working on things on your project, that could be your mentor, that could be anybody you are just accountable to, could be your siblings as well. You just ensure that when you are working on those projects, they have to be, for instance, if you are still working on your relocation, you want to go study abroad, people you'll be accountable to, we have to be your mentor that is probably helping you to check your statement of purpose or every all of those things. After all of that is being done under the stage 3 of um project management, after that has been done under the stage 3 of project management, which is project execution, you go to project monitoring and control, which is you doing your regular review of how the project is all about. Okay, this thing is needs to be well done, this thing has to be well identified. You note all those things that, okay, this thing that I'm working on, this project I'm working on, is it well done? Is it well identified? Is it in line with what we already highlight in the project plan? And also you monitor your project against the KPIs, your key performance indicator, if you have any, that is it in line, is it in check? And then under your project monitoring and control, you apply changes if there is need be. Let's say, for instance, you are still working on your relocation, maybe the school you apply for, you expect that they will have fully funded scholarship, and then all they could afford you is 60% of the scholarship. One of those things you will do is that you have to apply change. Is there any other school that have 100% scholarship for the course I want to apply for? A whole couple of those things like that. You check that and you ensure that you control it. Project monitoring and controlling is basically you reviewing the process even as you are implementing the project. And project monitoring and controlling go alongside with the implementation. Once you are implementing or once you are executing, you ensure that you check all of those things that you are doing. And then the last stage is your project closure, and that is when you are done. Like when you are done with the timeline, when you are done with when you are at the end of the project, I know that yes, I'm done with this project. You complete all project deliverables, and then at this stage you know that you've completed all your deliverables, and then you discuss your failure and then your successes with yourself. That is you just having a bit of evaluation about things you've done so far. And at this stage of project closure, you document the lessons you've learned. If you've learned this, if you've learned that about it, you just document it down to ensure that, yes, if you are doing this again, you won't be making this particular mistake. Now, having explained the stages or the life cycle of project management, what we'll be going to discuss on is the relevance of project management. One thing about the relevance of project management to us now, to us as a professional, is that it helps to ensure that all our tasks or projects are completed on time within your budget, and also to the expected quality of time, quality of work. In that, if before you work on any task, before you work on any project, you already have it structured out, have it, you initiate the plan, you plan it, you execute it. It will help you to ensure that you deliver it within the budget on time. And also, if things are well done within the time frame, there is no rush, there is no pressure yet, the quality of work that will be delivered will be so top notch. And another relevance of project management is that it also help you identify and mitigate with risk. It helps you to know that yes, this is a risk, we have to mitigate it. We have to this is a risk, potential risk that I've identified before I start this thing, before I start this task. How can I mitigate it? Then another relevance of project management is it helps to maximize your resources effectively. Yes, with the resources you have at hand, you'll be able to know what you how you will maximize it to ensure that you are able to meet up with your project goal. And also, relevance of project management is that it ensures that your stakeholders are well informed and they are informed throughout the course of the project that you are working on. So with that being said, we are done with the first aspect of the we are done with the first aspect of I'm just checking this key performance indicator. I'm done with the first aspect of the um of my topic, which is on project management. And yes, all right, yes. So before I go into the second aspect, which is on soft skills, is there any question? Is there any question? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, just for you to be conscious of time, for the
Yes.
soft skills session, I
All
think
right.
you have about, let's say, 12, 15 minutes so we can get to question and answer, and then they can also fill the post assessment.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm also conscious of time. I actually use a timer when I started. So, all right. Okay. Okay. So now let's just go into the second part of the discussion, yeah, which is on the soft skill. I never knew I've stopped sharing. Ooh, my screen. Uh, all right. So to get us started on this aspect as well, we'll be having an icebreaker. We'll be having an icebreaker as well. And the icebreaker is that uh, what is that one soft skills you wish to be better at, and why you want to be better at them? So I want to hear people's voice this time. So maybe Oyedamola could just identify a male and a female. I know you should know them already.
Just raise your hand, okay? Sumaya already raised her hand, so just raise your hand and I'll allow you to unmute. We need a male.
Yeah.
So who is gonna be the male? As I'm allowing you to unmute, please be speaking. Please, because of time.
Yes, good evening, Faith, and thank you very much. I'm enjoying the session. The soft skill I wish I was better at is self-leadership, and that's because I feel like to develop other skills, I need to at least know myself to an extent. And for me as an individual right now, I feel like when it comes to communication, teamwork, and other soft skills, I have above basic knowledge of it, but then I'm not as effective as I want to be. So I feel like with self leadership, I'll understand myself better and I'll be able to advance work on other skills better um if I can know more about self leadership. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sumaya Shuhab. I hope I did mother the name, but thank you so much. So let's have one more person, preferably a male. So,
Gracie, you can
Okay,
speak.
good evening, ma.
Good evening.
Um, Thank you for the session. Okay, one skill I would love to be better at is communication skills. In as much as I actually know a thing or more about what I intend to communicate to people, I usually have that challenge on how to be able to express it and explain it further, to be able to convince or communicate it better. So I think that's one skill I eagerly want to develop more.
all right, Gracie, thank you so much. I can see Blessing Clement said emotional intelligence. Yayoli, you said you wish I knew how to sugarcoat feedback so I won't be so blunt. Interesting. Gloria said team tolerance is what I need to be better on. That's nice. All right. So with that being said, that means we all have an idea of what soft skill is all about. Nobody is saying the soft skill they want to work on is graphic design. I'm so happy. Right.
Mm.
All right. Okay. So now let's go right into what soft skills all about. All right. But before we go into soft skill and explain most of those soft skill, and mind you, before I go further into it, from the slide I created, we just be highlighting to three soft skills that I believe that they are they are essential. If you can maximize those soft skills, yes, if you can know those ones that I highlighted, you'll be able to work well with your colleague. And I mean, you'll be able to stand out. So now, before we're going to discuss about any of them, I want you to know that soft skills are crucial in the world of work because they are essential for your success. For any organization you are part of, or any team you are working with, for you to be successful or for you to be tagged as somebody that is excellent and successful, the soft skills are so essential. And also, soft skills, they help us to foster workplace culture. I personally believe, and also from report. I was reading a report by PwC some weeks back, and they are talking about how soft skills help workplace culture. If an organization has people that has been able to develop their soft skills, there will be the organization will be tagged as an organization that has good workplace culture, because workplace culture actually built around soft skill. Another thing about soft skill and the world of work is that it makes it easy for people to build relationship, to build trust, and also for them to lead teams effectively. And another thing I want to know about soft skills, that soft skills often play a part in employees deciding whether to keep, whether to hire, or whether to promote an employee. To like, soft skills help employer to know that, oh, this person is good though, and he has good communication and collaboration skill. Let's be telling, yeah, this person is good, but he doesn't know how to communicate, he doesn't give feedback constructively, and the way he or she give feedback used to harm the confidence of other team members. To be like, okay, let's put him on probation, let's do this, let's do that. Soft skills determine a lot. Even if you are good, you are excellent in your technical skill, your soft skill play an important role in deciding whether or not you will be promoted, whether you'll be kept, or whether you'll be even hired, because sometimes there are some interviews that they will test your soft skills actually. Now, the next thing I want you to know, that there are top soft skills, one of which is that um we have communication, we have teamwork, adaptability, leadership, and also emotional intelligence. And I can see somebody, yeah, the first person that spoke to her, to Maya, she talked about leadership. The next person, Macy, talked about communication. A couple of things, couple of people talked about teamwork. Because I saw somebody said how to do team tolerance is what you want to improve on. That is teamwork. And adaptability, just your ability to change whatever work environment or whatever condition or process or stage your work environment is also one of the top soft skills. And those soft skills are the five most basic soft skills that is being needed for research. And also for emotional intelligence, we are going to talk about it. Like, it is also so important. Now, one of the soft skills we'll be talking on is communication and collaboration. And communication and collaboration, yeah, is quite tricky and funny, because sometimes we believe that communication is we just speaking, imparting the information that, oh, guys, we talk about project management now. The communication is much more than imparting or exchanging the information. It is you also listening. Communication involves a whole lot of things. Communication involves you speaking and then you being active listening is also um, a soft skill, but I do categorize it as part of communication, because if you are a good communicator, once you share your ideas, you should also listen to feedback. Active listening, that, oh, this is it. Ah, I didn't get it. I get it. Oh, interesting. This is how we can do it better. You actively listening to people. And that is why I intentionally use the word or exchanging of information, not you just imparting that this is it. You also letting the other people, after you've imparted, they exchange it with you. Oh, this is what you are working on. This is the document you're working on. But I think we can also do it like this, do it like this to do that. That is what communication is all about. Communication is not only about, it's not one way. I believe communication is not one way. And also in the channel of communication, right, we have the sender, we have medium of communication, and I know we also have the receiver. And the receiver is also meant to send a signal back that, oh, I get this information very well. I did not get it very well. Now, talking about collaboration is the action of working with people to produce or create something new. Now, when we talk about collaboration, when we say work with people, collaboration you just means you having, that team spirit, that team tolerance. Is it Gloria or somebody that wrote it, that team tolerance that I need now? That team tolerance, you working together actively to ensure that you get the job done. And I can tell you, collaboration is actually hard, because collaboration involves you dealing with people, and everybody do not have the mindset that you have. Everybody do not have the orientation that you have. Everybody do not have your perspective, your view about what you are seeing, because we are from different backgrounds, we are from different places, we have different knowledge, we have different insights, different understanding. And that is why if you are working, if you are collaborating with people to get things done, there will be need for you to be like, okay, is this person not getting what I want you to get? Oh, somebody is saying my voice is breaking. I just want to be sure.
I think you are good. Maybe it's their network, but I think you are good. You are very clear.
All right. Thank you, Bashiru and Idache Philip. Thank you, Netflix too. Yes, so as I was saying, when you are collaborating with people because of our different background, different field, different thoughts and opinion about things that we are doing, collaboration involves patience because you are working with someone to get things done. And when you are collaborating with people, you want to like be chilled, you want to be calm, you want to, yes, ensure that the goal is what you are still working on. You are not being distracted, and that can take a whole lot of patience from you, and it can take you actively listening. That is why communication and collaboration, I put them side by side, because without you communicating so well and also exchanging information like with the person, getting feedback, you may not be able to collaborate. For instance, now you are collaborating with somebody and the person, you're always telling the person, "Oh, this is what we are doing." Says a yes or yes, no, no, no criticism, no constructive criticism that, oh, let's do it better like this. This is not well done. None of those things from such person. Person is just going linear, not even be flexible, dynamic, changing all of those things. It will be hard. However, in the world of work, we are approaching where people can collaborate. People now collaborate virtually, physically, just to ensure that work is being done. And that means that no matter what you are doing, even today, I believe for those that are working or those that are even in school, yes, you have at one point or the other collaborated with someone today. If today you've ever told somebody that let's get this done, let's do this on time, we should not delay on this deliverable, that means you've already collaborated with the person. And how do you do that? You do that through communication. Now that we are in the digital world and the world is evolving, we are having new tools and all of those things. There are now tools that we use for collaboration, which I'm sharing some with you. We are using some tools for collaboration and communication for effectiveness. We now have Google Workspace, we have Microsoft Office, we have those tools are for collaboration and communication. Both of them are for collaboration and communication. Then we have Notion as well as Slack. Those are tools we use for collaboration. If you're on this call and probably you are looking to get a remote job, get a remote internship, and all of those things, these are tools that you need to just maybe read about, understand them, and get to know them, because these are collaboration tools. If you're on this call, you don't know Google Workspace, you have to know about them. If you're on this call, you don't know about Microsoft Workspace or Microsoft Office, you have to know about them. Notion or Slack, you have to know those things because the world is digitalizing now. Even for people that you see physically. For instance, now in my role now, I still have to go out, meet with people physically. But before I do that, I've already chatted, send them mails, chat with them under Google Workspace because my organization use Google Workspace. We have collaborated together, communicated with them virtually before we even see physically. When we see physically, we just say, okay, following up on that document I shared, please ensure that where I highlighted, edit this, edit that, all of those things. Yeah, that's tell you that collaboration now, aside you getting like the world is just being digital and collaboration and communication is done virtually now. Now, I often talk about communication and collaboration. The last thing I'm talking on, like this is my life's last subtopic. Yes, I'm right. This is my last subtopic, and it's going to be on emotional intelligence. I can see someone already mentioning that they want to work on their emotional intelligence and all of those things. See, emotional intelligence is you simply managing. Don't mind me. I've said managing today a whole lot. Don't mind me. Maybe because I'm a previous manager. But yes, emotional management is just your ability to manage, it's just the ability to manage both your own emotions and then understand the emotion of people around you. And emotional intelligence is actually quite needed in this world that we are in now, that people easily just say they are depressed, they are this, mental health. Yes, that's the word. People will just say, yes, we have to be um what's it called? We have to, yes, I have this my colleague at work. Any small thing, she's like, my mental health has been this, my mental so we're in the world that people are so particular about their mental health now, and this is why emotional intelligence is needed. In fact, little I can tell you that I know in the world that even things that is not meant to be tagged as mental health deliverables, Gen Z, we can call it mental health. That is why emotional intelligence is actually quite needed now, because emotional intelligence is just your ability to manage both your own emotions and then understand the emotions of people around you. Are you being able to find a level ground, a balance? Because one thing I'm going to tell you about emotional intelligence is that as much as you are being considered that, oh, I'm not, this person must have tapping with this or their own mental health, your own mental health is also needed. And your mental health are just your emotions, how your emotions they are playing out. And the mental health of your colleague is also their own emotions, how it is playing out, and how you know how both of you are able to manage both emotions is just what is called emotional intelligence. Everybody, you understand yourself and you find a leveler. That is what emotional intelligence is all about. And according to Mental Health America, they mentioned that emotional intelligence have 5 elements. It has 5 elements, which I will be dwelling on as a wrap up. The first one is self-awareness. Now, self-awareness is basically you knowing your own boundaries, what you can take, what you cannot take, your limits, your expand limits. Sometimes you used to say that even after I reach my limit, I can expand a bit. That expand a bit that you can tolerate, you know it. So mental, like your self-awareness is just you know that this is what I can do. Even if I'm stressed, I cannot do this one. I'm aware of myself. This is what I like. I don't like people responding to me this way. I don't like people responding to me that way. Your mental awareness. There are some people that if you want to work well with them, if you are shouting at them, they will not function. They will just be timid. They will just ignore your work. Self-awareness, that's their awareness, because they'll be like, why are they shouting at me? You are even just explaining this task, all of those things. It happens. That's how aware the person is about themselves, that if you want me to get this task, don't shout at me and don't pressure me and always give me this task on time. There are some people that that's what they're aware about themselves. And your self-awareness is also your own boundaries, what you can take and what you cannot take. And another element of emotional intelligence is your self-regulation. Self-regulation is you basically knowing your limits, how far you can go, how far you cannot go, what is within your area of strength, like just your limits, just your limits, what your area of strength can do, how you and also how you can ensure that you get all your things done, how you are self-regulated. That is what the second element is all about. And then the third element is motivation. See, motivation is needed if you work in the corporate world. Even if you don't work in the corporate world, even for yourself, you need to know what motivates you, because it actually helps your mental health. What motivates you, what keep you running, what can just reduce your energy, what can just help you to stay in track. That one thing that can drive you, that your drive is your motivation, and it's an important element of emotional intelligence. Now, empathy is also an important aspect of emotional intelligence, because if you have this element of empathy, you will be able to feel the opinion of others. For instance, in my place of work, we majorly work with volunteers. Yeah, work with volunteers to implement our projects. And sometimes, if any of my volunteer, if we have a project, he or she is managing, and maybe few hours to the project, he said he can't be there, he won't be available. You are leading this aspect, you are facilitating the session, you can't go to the schools because you work with school majorly. They table their reasons. I will just be empathetic, because I and the reason why I have to mention this is that in emotional intelligence, although you know that what they did sometimes, this their excuse, they don't even tell excuse. They may not just choose like not want to go, probably not want to give you the excuse. In cases that the excuse the person is making is not even legit, and you first even have to just be empathetic, like, okay, that's nice, I understand. All of those things, all of those things. But I'm able to do that because I know that I just have to manage my own emotions too, to ensure that their emotions, so I validate it. Empathy to me simply means, and also in simpler time, empathy use means you validating people's opinion when they tell you, probably maybe you come all of a sudden, and instead of you to just react, you are just being empathetic. And also empathy also mean you seeing their natural weakness and embracing it with them, but also ensuring that you are helping them to work on it. So empathy means, yes, they tell you this, you hearing some news, some updates from people, and then you soak it in and you are not being reactive. Yes. And also it means you embracing your workmates, your teammates' weakness, and helping them to work on it to ensure that they are better. Empathy is also that. Now we also have the aspect of emotional intelligence, empathy, that if let's say some natural occurrence happen, maybe somebody
Faith,
lose
just
somebody
to
close to
try
them.
to call to you, you have like about 3 minutes. Then we're going
Thank
to
you.
question and answer.
Thank you. I'm almost wrapping up. I'll wrap up in 3 minutes. That means in 7:16 I'll be done. So that is what empathy is all about. And then the fifth element of emotional intelligence is your social skill. How you're able to relate with people, your friendliness, your liveliness, how you were able to embrace people, respond with them, chat with them, have just cool activity with them. So those are the five elements of emotional intelligence. With that being said, um, one thing I want you to know as we wrap up, yeah, the soft skills and your career growth, they go hand in hand because they help you to measure your teamwork. And then if you're already working, they make a long-term access for your employee. If you are good, that's if you are good in the technical aspect as well, and you combine both with your soft skill. And then another thing you should know about your soft skill and your career growth is that they help you to maintain relationship. I can bet with you too. Um, if for me personally, things that I've done that I know that I eat it on track, I do all of those things. Most of them come from recommendation from the relationship I have with people. Some of them from my senior colleagues, majorly actually. So just soft skill just help you to maintain your relationship. And something about soft skill and your career growth is that they help you to build your reputation. Because soft skill also involve your integrity actually. And if you are good at your soft skill, you have integrity and all of things like that, they'll build your reputation. With that being said, books you can read to help you work on your soft skill. One of them is Atomic Habits, please. Yes, just read it. Another one is Getting Things Done. That's by David Allen, please. If you can read any of these books, read it. And yes, podcast you can listen to is the Productivity Show. It's on Spotify. It's on I use Spotify. Yes, you can use it. And then the Daily Stoic. Daily Stoic is just about controlling your mind as well. Yeah, it's about controlling your mind. And then the last recommendation I want to give you is YouTube. If you're ever on YouTube, TED Talks, they are actually good to build your soft skills. And you can always listen to Sam Adeyemi. Sam Adeyemi is my go-to person if you want to work on anything relating to soft skill. And yes, my final thought as we wrap up is that now that you've learned, practice, and grow, be the person that get things done and be unique in your own way. Aside everything that I've spoken on project management, on time management, on soft skills, be your own unique person and go in your way. And thank you so much for listening to me today. And with that
Thank you
being said,
so
thank you everybody.
much. That was really brilliant and insightful. Thank you so much. Now it's time for questions, and I am okay. I've seen it. So please, you can unmute right now. Everyone can unmute and ask questions, please. So let's just for the next 15 minutes, let's ask
Good evening,
questions.
ma'am.
And also, I have shared the link to the post session assessment form in the chat. So please, as you're asking questions, be filling the assessment. So go ahead, unmute yourself, ask your questions.
Good evening, ma.
Good
Good
evening, we can
evening.
hear you.
Thank you for this impactful section. I must say I enjoyed every bit of it. My question goes thus. Please, how do you deal with do I deal with employers who give dismissive feedback rather than constructive feedbacks?
Faith, can we see you and put on your video and then answer the question? Yeah, okay. Did you get the question she asked?
I get the question she asked that. Let me just recap that. For employees, is it employees or employer now? That
Employers will give dismissive feedback instead of constructive feedback.
oh, interesting. That means they're your employer and they give dismissive instead of constructive feedback. Yeah. I feel one thing, I've not experienced it, right? I'll be so sincere. I've not experienced employers that give dismissive instead of constructive feedback. But I feel one thing that could help is you, I don't know, do they like give it as a group or give it as one on one? I want to be sure
It's
first.
an individual thing.
Oh, it's
Like,
an individual thing.
yes.
Okay, thank you. I think if it's an individual thing, there's something my executive director used to tell me that because I'm your employer does not mean that, well, we all have different work culture. My own work culture may not be your own work culture. He said that it's better to respectfully tell me how I can do better if I'm doing something you are not comfortable with. But like I said, this is relative to your work culture. My own workplace, to your workplace, my own workplace has that culture where I can tell them and all of those things. But what I feel is that if you can just create a structure around it, that before they give you that, yes, what just comes to my mind, you can create a sheet, maybe on Microsoft or on Google Sheets. You, if it is allowed, create a template where they can share their feedback, what you can do better and what they need you to improve on. Because I believe that if you share that with them, that's how, for ensure that your feedback is well given, all of those things. I created this template for us to fill it before we have our meeting. If they can fill that sheet, I feel if they can read it out from that Google sheet and they filled it before you have that meeting with them, it will be able to help them to think their mindset towards giving constructive feedback. Or you can respectfully tell them that, sir, I appreciate that you give me feedback, but I feel it would be more good for me if you can also let me know how this feedback, how I can work on them, or all of those things. I know you cannot go and tell your employer that they are this, they are that, but if there are people you can respectfully tell, emphasis on the respectfully tell them, it will go a long way to ensure that they change or they improve better on how they are giving you your feedback. Mary Judith, I hope I'm able to answer your question.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, and
I want
to
to
add
ask
to
a
that,
question. It's not me.
Mary Judith.
It's
Okay.
not me that asked the question. Sorry, I wanted to ask a question. Thank you for the
I
class. I
don't
was
I,
really a
all
good
And
right.
one.
before you speak, Mary Judith, I wanted to also add to that whatever your employer says, don't let it get to you personally because it can really be a thing. So try to deal with it from an objective lens, an objective perspective. Like you are not what they say, especially with something that kind of spiteful or so sort of hateful or so dismissive of you as a person, even beyond your work. So it doesn't affect your own esteem or your own confidence and then spreads into other area of your life. So that's just to add to it. So please keep asking your questions and also fill the assessment.
Okay, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry, I was not the one that asked that question. This is my question. So thank you for the class. It was really a good one. I have a question. The question is, how do you prioritize tasks when everything is urgent? Hello?
Yes, I get your question that how do you prioritize time and
Task,
task?
like task when everything is urgent. Like
Mm,
everything is urgent on that, yeah.
all right. This is a very tough question. And when you do this was smart. So smart. Okay, so yes, um, how do you prioritize tasks when everything seems urgent? What I do is every day I first know the most important things that if I can do this today, or you can do. For instance, now where I work, we can work on 5 projects at once, and you have to deliver them. Funny enough, they are always within the same time frame. And aside working on 5 projects for work, I have my life is my project, and everything I do is my project. But what I do around it is that what I do to ensure that I know what to do for each of those tasks every day. I know the three most important ones that if I can do it, I will have my peace of mind for this project. And as a matter of fact, Friday, Sunday morning, Sunday evening, stroke Monday morning, within that period, I already identify what I want to do for each of the projects before work starts actually on Monday, and also for my own personal self. Once I listed all the tasks, I now categorize them that if I can do this on Monday for this one project, it's a success. If I can do this on Tuesday for this project, it's a success. And another thing I do is, if you can, is delegate tasks. Sometimes all those tasks I feel like it's urgent. We have to do it, it's urgent. May not even be you that should be able to that should do all of those tasks actually. If there's a structure for you to be able to delegate the tasks, for it not to be burdensome on you, yes, you can do that. However, per day, know the ones that if you do this on Monday, like no three, no one, no three of the tasks. Like if you do it on Monday, it is a success. If you do it on Tuesday, this is a success for you. Even if all of them are urgent, that's what I feel I can tell you about that, and what has been working for me.
Oh,
Actually,
thank you so much.
thank you too. Um, so before we take Busayo, Abibat dropped 2 questions. Is how do I improve my negotiations, and when is too much of workload? How do you how do you know when to take a break and breathe? The thing is, for the second question, burnout is real. Yes, burnout burnout is so real. Yeah. And again, for you to when there's no much of workload to you, when you feel you are at your limit, take a break. And sometimes you don't even need to be at your limit, because getting at your limit may mean that you are mentally and physically tired and you need to take a break. What can work well for you if you have too much of workload to do is that you have a to-do list every day. You have a to-do list every day that will let you know that this is what you are to work on today. Because I believe if you have a to-do list, you won't be able to feel the workload will still be there, but it won't be so much of a burden on you. And if you have a to-do list every day, your to-do list should also include time when you rest, when you calm down, when you touch with yourself, touching with your inner self. So that's it for the second question. Why how do I negotiate? How do I improve my negotiation skill? The negotiation skill improve by practicing. Oh. Yes, practicing. And another thing that can help you improve your negotiation skill. Now, let's see, I don't know the context of what you want to improve your negotiation skill for, maybe for your business, for your work, for anything. If it is for your work, I believe that you should have done things that are quantifiable, something that have data that you can back up, use it to back up your negotiation. Maybe it is for a promotion at work. Yeah, I say, okay, I worked on this. I had this report. I need you to guide. And someone microphone is actually unmuted. Please, if you can, Florence, for other person, please.
Yeah, I've muted the person rather. And so
All
please,
right.
if you are not also speaking, unmute yourself. I not everyone to unmute so that you can ask questions and make the class
Oh,
interactive.
all right. So yes, like I said, your negotiation skill, you can improve it by practicing, and also whatever you are negotiating, right? Ensure that you are negotiating with data. People just want to hear data. If you're like, I have this skill, I have that skill, it's better, like, let's give illustration. Like, Let's say, for instance, I want to negotiate for a promotion. Since I joined this organization, I have good communication skills. I used to lead meetings. I used to do this, take notes. No, they will just look like nice. Everybody can have that, but come and tell them that I need this promotion. When I started working here, the organization do not have more than 5 sales. And since when I started working here, I've been able to bring in 10 profitable sales, which have this reach and a whole lot of those things. But they'll just tell you that, oh, nice. Or you come and tell them that start working on this project. This project has not been able to have 10,000 targets before. And I've been able to meet that target of 10,000 and even exceeded it by 20%. Like they'll just like, okay, nice. But however, you need to improve it by practicing and also ensuring that you do things that are quantifiable by data. That is just the only two things I can tell you about improving your negotiation skill, Abiba. Thank you so well. So over to you, Indamola.
Okay, thank you so much. Does anyone still have any question?
Is I have a question.
Yes, Mama, I'll be.
Okay, please ask. Please ask. We just take 2 more questions, and after this, we are going to take our picture and we can leave the call. So people have been saying about the post assessments. I've seen I think there is something in one of these, but just don't worry about that. Just fill it. We'll undo that later. Just fill it.
My question is simply still on communication skill. Okay, let's assume I'm working on a project and I'm the team lead, but I'm finding it's not that I'm finding it difficult to communicate what the project goals, the deliverables, and all that. But my team members, they are like finding it to understand the goals. Kind of, is there any way I can help them? Like you said, that communication is not just about communicating or being eloquent. It's also about giving feedback, about being an active listener. But when it comes to this, like my let me say my other team member, they are not really doing what was expected of them. Is there a better way I can communicate with them, or any way I can help? Yeah, for the success of. Thank you.
Okay, so I feel what you can do for it's one of my volunteer here. I see you. So I think one of the things you can do better for your team is that you would let them tell you what they understand about the task and the project that you are working on. And if you can hear from them that just tell them that this thing we are working on, how do you understand it? Like explain to me as if I've not heard about it before and hear from all of them. Once you can do that, I'm sure that it will let you know the reason why they are turning out the way they are turning out, or why they are responding the way they are responding. So I guess that you just have a meeting with them and have them share with you the understanding of what you are working on, and then the understanding of their task. If they can do both, from there you'll be able to pinpoint that, oh, this is what they don't understand, and this is why it is going the way it is going. I hope I'm able to answer your question.
Yes, thank you so much, Mom.
You are
Yeah,
welcome.
good evening, everyone. Please,
Good evening.
my name is Emmanuel. Yes. Please, I wanted to emphasize on being able to manage projects. How can we allocate? What are the personal indicators we can be able to earmark? But please, I want you to emphasize on the personal indicators that can help us to reach a particular milestone. I want you to emphasize on it. Then number two is that yesterday's class was very, very somehow. We could not be able to get the slides because of the weather. I don't know whether because of the weather or the internet. So I would want us to get the slide of yesterday's class. Thank you so much.
Okay, the slides of yesterday class, you will get it. That is not in Faith's preview, but we will send it to you. So in the absence of any questions, please can you put on your video, put on your camera, so we can take a picture as is our usual practice. I'll put it. The assessment form is still ongoing. So please feel it if you've not. So please put on your camera. Let's take a picture. And then we are done. Please still put on your camera. We are still taking the picture. We are still taking the picture. There are 4 slides to go. Okay, so we are done. Thank you so much. Please let's say thank you to Faith. If Faith would share with us, I'll share her slides with you if she shares her slide with us.
All right, thank you so much, ma. We
So
appreciate
thank
for the
you so
moment.
much, Faith. Thank you for
Thank you so
coming.
much,
Thank
Ma
you
Faith.
for
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
so much.
ma.
And thank you everyone thank you so much. This is day 4 and we brought the same energy. See you tomorrow, day 5. And for everyone who's been wanting to learn about communications, please ensure you are here tomorrow. We'll be having a communication specialist and you learn her journey, how she started from bank to now working with like the United Nations Office of Drug and Crimes in Nigeria as a communication specialist, how she has spoken both at a national and international events, how she has been able to own her communication skill and standard. So for all of those who want to be good at communication, at public speaking, at storytelling, at pitching and presenting, please don't miss that session tomorrow with Rafiat Atanda. She really do a lot of justice to that. So please see you tomorrow and thank you everyone for joining. Thank you so much. If you fill the assessment form, please you can leave. If you've not, please fill the assessment form. If you've not filled the assessment, please fill. That is why I'm still waiting on the call. I'm just going to wait on the call till this 7:35. So I'll be on the call till 7:40 for those who have not filled the assessment. So if you've not filled the assessment, please fill it now. I'm going to stay on the call till 7:40. Once it's 7:40, I am closing the link. Please fill it now. If you fill the assessment, you can leave. Thank you so much.
Wani? Why me wannan yanki ne? Shawun? Okay. Hey. Gaskiya dai kin baka cikin ma'abocin baka fiye sa huluna ba gaskiya kai ka. Ina yi. Biki? Ka biki ba? Biki? Amma yanzu kasa ta a bikin Mansa dai? Eh? Allah Salah kasih.